Hi, this is Shiva Rajaya from vitalcoaching.com. Welcome again to Mauna Loa. I'm on my way to the summit right now, and I want to give you a message in this video. This is called the Solar Hierarchy. This journey here in Hawaii has been a profound discovery for me in many ways, and the guiding force of what has been happening feels like a progressive, deepening connection with the solar energy. It started first in Haleakala, which is the house of the sun. You know, that's the translation in Hawaiian, the house of the sun. And over there it felt like really entering, you know, almost like the ashram, the temple of the solar energy. After that I went to Kauai and on the Kalalau trail, and over there entered the Kalalau Valley as well. And Kala, in the way I, you know, translate it, or according to the translations that I have seen, Kala, you can go back to the sun, you know, expressing the sun energy, and Lao is like a place of assembly or reunion. At least this is one of the translations. So it could mean the place of assembly of the sun, which can be interpreted in the way of a place where you merge with the sun. So Haleakala first, entering the house of the sun, then merging with the sun energy in Kalalau, and then Mauna Loa here, which is Mauna means rocky mountain, and Loa means permanent. So it's like the permanent rocky mountain. The thing which is interesting is that Mauna in Sanskrit refers to silence. So it could be the permanent place of silence. And last night, while I was climbing in direction of the summit, I had quite a few insights and feelings waking up, and I started you know, getting the strong feeling that this is a vortex of energy. It's a high spot, and the way I feel it is that it's a high spot for the solar hierarchy or the solar energy. It's not just, you know, formless energy. We are talking about a system, or almost like a governing body for the solar system, and beyond that for the galaxy as well, but first for the solar system. So it's as if this point here would represent the anchor point for the solar hierarchy. So if you haven't been, you know, in any form of spiritual exploration and live within a very rational world, then probably like what I'm saying doesn't make much sense. But if you are, you know, in the spiritual exploration path, and, you know, diving into understanding energies and using a lot your intuitive or instinctual power, meditating a lot, then maybe what I'm saying right now might resonate with you. You know, I strongly believe that we are surrounded by spiritual forces, angelic forces, which are at play on our planet all the time. You know, we are one of the creative hierarchies, and then you have all these hierarchies at play. You know, you have the elemental forces of nature, you have the crystalline world, you have the plant world, the plant realm, and each realm has its own set of rules and direction of evolution, and those are the ones we can perceive. You know, there has been numerous encounters with forces that are maybe greater than ourselves in the form of angelic beings throughout human history. In my experience, these are not just isolated encounters, it's an ongoing dialogue, communication, interaction, collaboration for human evolution. I believe that right now, as I'm speaking, I'm surrounded by forces that are actually listening and understanding the message that I'm sending out. The invisible is filled with powers, forces, intelligences that are active all the time. So back to the solar hierarchy, you know, I believe that what's happening on this planet is happening in a way which is organized. It means that you have higher forces at play which are directing the evolution of humankind and of the planet. So I have a model which summarizes that, and let me show that to you. So this is the model. I'm going to put it right here so you can see it. The first point here would be Gaia. It's our planet. The three lines here with the little dot above represent our human hierarchy. The first line is the first ray, which is ruled by the Manu. The second line is the second ray, the ray of religion, spiritual development, love and wisdom, and this is ruled by the Christ energy, the Buddhic energy, the Krishna energy. It's just one line of evolution. And the third one would be the line of creative intelligence, creative power, knowledge, which is ruled by the Mahashohan. And this line is represented by all the, you know, universities, knowledge, everything that is happening out there, science, you know, all that. So, and above that, it's the dot of Sanat Kumara. So all that represents us as humankind. We as human beings, we are right here at the interface between this human hierarchy and Gaia. Above that, and it's not really a point which is distant, it's more a field of energy that is surrounding the planet, and we are actively downloading as a human race. Let me pause for a second. This point would be Shambhala. And Shambhala is like an intelligent body of energy, a cosmic being, which is incarnating itself on the planet and directly interacting with Gaia. And we, as humankind on the interface, are downloading the mind of Shambhala. Above that, you have the sun, which is receiving the cosmic energies and transferring that to us. And then on top of that, you have the center of the galaxy. I just added this last point very, you know, recently. So that represents the governing body. I mean, up to here, the governing body for our planet and our solar system. So I hope this makes sense to you. If you, you know, I started using this symbol maybe since I went to Kalalau. It's like it started emerging. Until before this trip, I was very much functioning with this idea. You know, the 3 rays of manifestation, which expand on 7 rays, by the way, but this is a simplified version, and then Sanat Kumara on top. So I have been functioning with this idea, of planetary hierarchy, and trying to, you know, to have aligned actions with what I feel coming from this hierarchy or this system for, you know, for many years, for the last almost like 20 years. But the idea of suddenly realizing that there is a, you know, a solar hierarchy, and that beyond our planetary intelligence there is this solar logo, which is an intelligent being, which is actually ruling even our Shambhala body and also the human hierarchy. So that's it. I just wanted to share with you this message. Maybe some of you might resonate with that. If what I'm saying here kind of, you know, resonates and you feel aligned with it and you want to connect with it, you know, get in touch. Go to vitalcoaching.com, send me a message, interact with me in whatever way you want, and you know, we can reinforce these ideas, work with them more consciously. Something else that you can use is simply use this symbol, put it somewhere, you know, in your room, in your space, because this is like a you know, a symbol or a way of acknowledging the existence of this hierarchy or this system. So you can put it down, and you know, it's more than more than just a symbol on a piece of paper. It's a gateway of consciousness, and a gateway that allows you to make contact, or, you know, it's like it connects you with that source of energy or that specific body of energy. So that's one thing. Another thing that you can do if you want to connect with the solar energy is simply use the word Surya, you know, Surya in Sanskrit. But for now, you know, what is emerging is something that goes even beyond that word. It's something new that belongs to this time, and so I would encourage you to simply, you know, dive into it and try to explore it if it's something that you feel attuned with. If that doesn't match anything you feel or want to explore, that's okay with me. I'm not here to try to convince you of anything. I'm just sharing some ideas or some experiences that I had, so that if you are on the same path, you can tune into that and realize that you are not doing that alone, and that these are mindsets which are emerging, and that maybe more people on this planet are feeling. Another thing that I want to say is, why is it that this specific spot would be an anchor point for solar hierarchy? I believe that there is a reason for that. We are in the middle of the Pacific, surrounded by water. There is actually very little civilization interaction, you know, human interaction for miles and miles and miles, thousands and thousands of miles around. There is a little bit of human activity on the island, you know, on the other islands as well, but compared with the mainland, it's really nothing. So I believe that this place is actually maybe the place in the world which is the most isolated from human activity or civilization. I'm not talking about just some activity, I'm talking about overall how much of the vibration over here is reflects human activity, and I believe that it's actually very, very little. So this could explain why this would be an anchor point for a new input that goes beyond human civilization and human activity. Try to check this on the map. You will see that you know, Hawaii is really in the middle of nowhere. I mean, in the middle of the Pacific, and it makes sense for an input coming from beyond this planet that wants to remain pure and untouched, to be anchored in this point. We are also on Mauna Loa, which is one of the two highest points over here in the whole Pacific area. I'm not sure about the other islands, but in Hawaii, you have Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea, I think. Let me just double check that. My map is flying away. Yeah, that's right. So Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea. I think Mauna Kea is a tiny little bit higher, but it doesn't really matter. We are talking probably about the whole area that represents that. I don't think that it's one specific, location on the island, but obviously Mauna Loa, where I am now, is the one of the two highest points in the whole Pacific area. And if you look at that in a map, you will notice that it's just water, right? It's just water all around. We are 5-hour flight from the mainland, California. Not many islands around, and basically it's just open space. So it makes sense to have this high spot of energy right here. And I've been in many places around the world, and it's the first time I get this feeling, this realization, of having so little civilization points or civilization activity all around, that it makes sense for this solar hierarchy to have an anchor point in a place which remains pure. Also the name, Mauna Loa, that I was mentioning earlier. So the rocky mountain, the permanent rocky mountain, which is a way of describing what Hawaiians were seeing. But on a spiritual level, there is often names have a spiritual connotation. I see it as a rock of permanence, something that is permanent, not changeable. And again, if you look at the Sanskrit word, the permanent silence. And what is silence? It is energy. It is bliss. It is. You can see it as a transmission as well. So maybe in the name of the volcano there is a hint right there. There are two ways of exploring human life, and one of them is using a lot your brain and your logic, and come up with logical models and rational thinking, and that's great. That's one way to go. You read the Bible and try to look at historical connotations, and analyzing and coming from the rational mind, which is the lower mental ability. If you start using your intuitive faculties, you tap into the causal level, which is the higher mental plane. And this is what you start doing when you start meditating or praying or following your intuition. And when you are in that level, on the level of the causal, which is just before the Buddhic level, before you reach also the nirvanic level, when you are on the causal level, the intuition starts developing a lot. It means that you start getting insights, you start getting feelings, impressions, and things that you cannot really rationalize, but that somehow make sense. And you start, putting all that into perspective and downloading it into a rational model. But first, it is a set of insights. Why is it that people believe, in God or in the absolute or in the universe? It's not something that you can prove, right? You cannot rationally prove it. It's just a feeling. It's just an impression, a realization, and it's an experience. So keep that in mind. Everything that I'm describing here, it's not some form of rational modelization. It's first an experience. It's like I wake up in the morning, I suddenly have an insight, I look into the dictionary, I realize that Haleakala is the house of the sun, and somebody comes up in my life, shows up, tells me we have to go to Kalalau. We get up there, on the path I realize that Kala means sun again, and then I start researching. You know, it's like there are all these insights, and I know that also that I'm on a journey, and I know that I'm being guided to go and explore certain places. I mean, this year has been an incredible journey and exploration of so many different parts around the world, and every time there are insights coming in, realizations, big boosts of energy, and breakthroughs in terms of awareness and consciousness, and this is a continuity of that. So this is it, the solar hierarchy, the hierarchy of the sun. What comes next? Within a few days I will be going back to Honolulu and then Europe, back to Switzerland, and after that it will be middle November, and then December is still open, but I have a few ideas about what I will be doing for in December 2012. Nothing is fixed yet, and then 2013 is starting on a whole new journey or exploration, and again I'm not yet sure which direction I will go. A few possible ideas, but everything that is happening this year is aligned with what is going to come next. So all that is preparation, it's training, it's opening of new channels of energy, and I know that all that is preparation. It's aligned with things that are going on the planet, and that other people, many other people are experiencing as well. It's an alignment of planetary energies that we are doing right now to keep on evolving as human race, and if possible go for upgrading our ability to function in harmony with the planet, with the cosmos, with the universe, keep expanding our consciousness and our awareness, and what I'm doing here is part of that. Solar hierarchy. Lots of bliss from Manaloa. Look at that. In the background, this little dot of smoke coming out. This is Kilauea. The lava is coming to the surface, and it started being active recently. I'm not sure when, but looks like Pele wants to tell us something. Gorgeous. I love this place. I love Hawaii. I love Big Island. Bliss to you.